Hi guys, welcome. You're here with me, Jen, the Taxidermy Witch, and I am here to go over the letter C in Herbal Alchemy and Magical Herbalism with you guys. It's very hard for me to film up here lately because the power's gone out, so that's why I'm in my back corner of my loft. Hopefully you guys are able to see and everything like that, hear well, etc., because again, the Wi-Fi might not be so good over here. But I'm still getting these videos pushed out to you guys. Right after this, I'll be on those Patreon videos as promised. We'll be having a Brussels sprout video talking about 3 or 4 different workings that you can do. Alright, so let's start with the letter C. Hello to Brittany and Elliot and Saffron. So nice to see you guys. There are 56 in today's flashcards, so this is going to go a lot quicker than the other ones. I'm not going to have a lot of time to talk in between cards, but we will have a really fun time, I can promise you that. Alright, so we're starting with card number 1. About 99% of these are Scott Cunningham's intentions, and if they're my intentions I use personally, I will say so myself. Otherwise, these are all coming from Scott Cunningham, Magical Herbalism. Hey, Joyce Jordan, and from the Dark Pool, so good to see you guys. Okay, so we're starting with cabbage. Okay, we're starting with cabbage. There are 56 today. We're going to go fast. Cabbage has one magical intention. The magical intention is luck. It has a planet, an element, and a gender. The planet is the moon, the element is water, and the gender is feminine. Now, Brussels sprouts don't appear in Magical Herbalism, but when you read in Wicca in the Kitchen, you learn, and I'll tell you guys all about Brussels sprouts and how they came about. They're miniature cabbages. They really are, and they were kind of like modified just as such hundreds of years ago, so that they would be available all year round. And we'll hear about that in the Brussels sprout video I'll be doing and the lore of it. It's so great. So remember, you can attach these to your Brussels sprout workings. Cabbage for luck, moon, water, feminine. All right. So next we have cactus. Cactus. Few of them are poisonous, so only ingest the ones that are sold like at the grocery store or that you know can be eaten for food. So there are 2 magical intentions. Protection and chastity. Chastity makes a lot of sense because of the spikes on the outside, and protection as well, obviously. And then there's no planet, gender, or element. Okay, just protection and chastity for the cactus. All right, next we have calamus. Calamus. Calamus is a poison. There are 4 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and a gender. Calamus is good for luck, healing, money, and protection. The planet is the moon, the element is water, and the gender is feminine. Oh, you made my garlic soup yesterday, Brittany? That's so awesome. I love that garlic soup. Draugler had made a different version of the garlic soup, and he gave me that recipe. It was quite good. It looked good. I haven't tried it yet, but it looked good. So glad to hear you guys are making my magical recipes. Yay! Hi, Uncle Badger. Oh, Peggy told me to tell you thank you. You were telling Peggy thank you on yesterday's video, and she ran up to the loft screaming, "Tell Uncle Badger I said thank you." I thought it was too cute not to tell you. All right, so next we have calamus, camellia. Camellia. And it has 1 magical intention, the camellia, a planet, an element, and a gender. Magical intention is riches. Okay. Moon, water, and feminine. Next we have camphor. Remember, if you guys are getting camphor, there's an old wives' tale that mothballs have camphor. That's not true anymore. I believe that they did have pure camphor in them at one point, but not anymore. And if you think you don't like the smell of camphor because you don't like the smell of mothballs, I would say try and get your hands on some pure camphor. It comes in square blocks. But originally it's from a plant. So there are 3 magical intentions for camphor, a planet, an element, and a gender. Magical intentions are chastity, health, and divination. Planet is the moon, element is water, and gender is feminine. Next we have the caper. Probably overlooked by a lot of people, and I know that some people are going to say, "Jen, I don't grow capers, so can I use the capers out of my fridge, like in the jar?" Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Absolutely. Just because they're pickled, maybe you want to look in your red book and get the elements of vinegar and see what, maybe added to that caper. There are 3 magical intentions to the caper, a planet, an element, and a gender. Magical intentions of caper are potency, lust, and love. If you're going to use this in a long-term working, though, you should dehydrate those capers before you use them. Planet is Venus, element is water, gender is feminine. The caper. Next we have Caraway. Caraway has 5 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and a gender. Caraway's magical intentions are protection, lust, health, anti-theft, and mental powers. Planet is Mercury, element is air, gender is masculine. This is way too fast for you guys to be writing down as I'm saying it. So my suggestion to you is to find time within the next month to a year to sit down and watch all 26 of these videos and note all this stuff down. Even if you have the green book, by making flashcards such as these, you're able to sit and you're able to test yourself all the time on your herbal knowledge. I wish Cunningham's, or Lewin would publish some flashcards, but like I say, there's going to be over 600 of them here. Thanks, Saffron! I didn't put on any makeup and I just kind of like realized I probably should have done that, but I appreciate you saying that. Thank you so much. Jezebel Von Texas here. It's so nice to see you. Yeah, my doll art in the back. This is the only plug-in I have in the whole loft. So my glamping has really turned into some camping. All right, so we're talking about cardamom. Cardamom is one of my favorite things. I even keep it down here in my oil burner. I keep 2 cardamom pods in there, the full pod, and when they burn, it smells so good. I just started this little guy this morning. That has essential oils and herbs in it, but I love cardamom. It's one of my favorite things. Now, Scott Cunningham has 2 magical intentions for cardamom, but I use it for something different, and I want to tell you that right now. I use cardamom for abundance and for money. It's always resonated with me like that. But Scott Cunningham's magical intentions are love and lust. The planet is Venus, the element is water, and the gender is feminine. Okay? And like I say, you can just sit here with these flashcards, look at them yourself and go, cabbage. Okay, what do I think that is? Give a guess, flip it over. Oh yeah, I got it, it was luck. Cactus, give it a guess, flip it over. Oh, I missed protection. Got to remember that, and then find a way to remember that the cactus is protective. Use some, what do you call it, like word analogy type things, however you study, but flashcards are really one of my favorite ways to study. So for the cardamom, love, lust, Venus, water, feminine. Next we have carnation. Carnation is one of Santa Muerte's favorite offerings, a red carnation. Carnations have 3 magical intentions, an element, a planet, and a gender. Magical intentions are protection, strength, and healing. Sun, fire, and masculine. Sun, fire, and masculine. Carob. Carob, which is like chocolate, right? Well, it's like chocolate. It's like a vegan type of chocolate, but it's from a bean pod, as far as I understand. I used to eat carob brownies all the time. You put cardamom in your coffee like 1 cracked pod. Yeah, oh, you guys, it really does flavor up tea and coffee. Cardamom pods are great. So carob, 2 magical intentions, and there's no planet, element, or gender. Just 2 magical intentions, which are protection and health. Health makes sense if you're trying to memorize it, because carob is like your healthy brownie, your healthy chocolate. So health and protection. Carob. Next is carrot. This is something I use. I mostly use the tops because they're quicker and easier to dehydrate, and we eat the root. But if you want to do a working and use a carrot as a poppet, root vegetables as poppets is a great idea. All right, carrot is good for 2 magical intention. It has a planet, an element, and a gender. Fertility and lust are the magical intentions, and Mars, fire, and masculine are the planet, element, and gender. Next we have Cascara sagrada. Cascara sagrada. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I hope that I am. Nice to see you, Lady Virtus. You're never late here. Never late because you can watch it back. So this one is good for 3 things. It has a planet, an element, and a gender. The 3 magical intentions are legal matters, money, and protection. The planet is Mars, the element is fire, and the gender is masculine. Saffron, I've done loads of videos on eggshells. Just type in taxidermy witch plus eggshells plus witchcraft. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Cashew has one magical intention, a planet, an element, and a gender. Oh yeah, you're right. It does sound like cascarilla powder, like what we have when we make powdered eggshells. Not sure. Alright, cashew is good for money. The planet is the sun, the element is fire, and the gender is masculine. You've seen them. Okay, cool. I like my eggshell videos. I want to do an eggshell ASMR if I had better like microphones and equipment. Castor. This is a poison. There's one magical intention and there's no planet, element, or gender. The magical intention for castor is protection, but remember you guys, it's a poison. Okay, next we have catnip, which I do believe, and Joyce Jordan, since you're here, and some other of my really good herbal knowledge friends, catnip is a form of mint, correct? Now catnap has 4 magical intentions from Scott Cunningham and then 1 of my own, planet, an element, and a gender. Catnip is good for cat magic, love, beauty, and happiness, and it's always tied directly to Bastet. My additions are money, because I believe catnip is in the mint family, and mint's a big money one, but in general, it's always vibrated that way for me. Catnip and money, but it may be because one of my like closest people I work with is Bastet. And Otis. Venus is the planet, element is water, and feminine is the energy of catnip. And it's easy to remember feminine because Bastet is a female cat. Speaking of cats, next we have cattail. There's 1 magical intention, and a planet, an element, and a gender. Cattail. Now, these are often called other things, but when you see swampy waters and grasses, and then a big phallic-looking brown seed pod, or brown, looks like velvet, like brown velvet. Now, if you've never seen a cattail explode, you must. Basically, once you cut it from the ground, it starts to, like, the pod itself starts to ooze out seeds, and I'm not talking about hundreds, I'm talking about thousands of tiny seeds, kind of like the dandelion seed. Now, the cattail is good for one thing, lust, but in general, it is good for if a woman doesn't enjoy sex but wishes to, she should carry this, like, on a mojo or a sachet or amulet all the time. If a woman doesn't enjoy sex but she wishes to. And I've used this with clients, and I've used it on a more personal level, and it's an amazing addition to any working having to do with those intentions. Do I grow my own herb from seed? My husband used to do that for me. I grow some things myself. My mom grows some things, but most things I try to do ourselves, and then we'll buy if we can't find. I forage a lot of stuff from the wood, the brush. So, cattail, the planet is Mars, the element is fire, and the energy is masculine, and that's easy to remember masculine because it's a phallic-shaped object. And then it's also good for having women enjoy sex. And since it only has that 1 intention, it's really easy for me to remember. Cedar. It smells amazing, cedar. Cedar has 4 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and a gender. Dunpaps, they're called there. They are magic. Just in themselves when they open up. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Jezebel. If you just sit and watch one open, I wish I had some time-lapse photography or something, because it's the most like, I just turned around from it for 1 second, and it had started to explode, and it was slowly turning into this, just filling the jar, and you're like, how do they fit in there? It's really something. It's magical just to watch it happen, and it would be great to do a working right as it's happening. Like when you cut it from the ground, start your working then, because the seeds just slowly erupt out and triple or quadruple the size of the plant. Yep, and we'll get to foxglove in a few days on F, and yes, that's definitely a poison, and it's native where I live. So back to cedar. The 4 magical intentions are protection, healing, purification, and money. The planet is the sun, the element is fire, and masculine is the gender. Hello, honey owl at moon. So nice to see you, darling. All right, this one is called celandine? I'm guessing. I don't work with this one yet. It is a poison, so I'd like to work with it. There are 4 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and a gender. Magical intentions are protection, escape, happiness, and legal matters. Planet is the sun, element is fire, gender is masculine. Next we have celery, which we've been talking a lot about as it's a food that's used a lot this time of year in stocks and soups and stuffings and salads, etc. Alright, so there's 3 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and a gender. Magical intentions are mental powers, lust, and psychic powers. Planet is Mercury, element is fire, gender is masculine. Ding, 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 correct! Hey Heather Foley, how are you? Really good to see you. And like I say, since there's 56 cards today, I really have to go through fast, but if you're watching this after this video has been done, I suggest after I tell you what's going to be on the card, you pause it, write down your guesses, push play, and see how many of them you got correct, because this will help obviously build our knowledge, but also build our intuition. The more correct ones we get just by guessing, we'll start to really have that trust in ourselves and our intuition, and that's what we want. So next we have Centauri. Centauri. 1 magical intention, a planet, an element, and a gender, snake removing. So I need some of this in my life. If anybody knows how to get this or has some or grows some or can forage it, please do let me know. Snake removing. Planet is the sun, element is fire, gender is masculine. Next we have German chamomile. Now, after this we'll read Roman chamomile, and I really want you guys to pay attention to the differences between the two. Okay, because they're hugely different. That is good about celery. So drinking celery juice will cleanse your liver and blood. I'm glad you added that in there, Jez. I thought to add it, but I mean, awesome. Yeah. And when people make green drinks, if they're not adding celery, they're just being silly, you know. Celery can be more healthful than wheatgrass, in my opinion, for heart and liver issues. All right. So for German chamomile, there are no magical powers, but there are a few magical uses. There's a planet, an element, and a gender. Now, one of the magical uses are calming and sleep, oils, brews, and incenses. So adding German chamomile to calming and sleep oils, brews, and incenses. Or used to attract money. Or, since there's a sunny nature to the plant, it can be used to combat curses and spells. So if you feel like a curse or a spell has been thrown your way, you can use this plant because it has a sunny nature to combat those things. Okay? Planet is the sun, element is water, and gender is masculine. Now the Roman chamomile has 4 magical intentions, okay? Money, sleep, love, and purification. The element is the sun. The planet is the sun, the element is water, and it is masculine. So they're both masculine, though. Both German and Roman are masculine. But it's the Roman that has all the magical powers. Okay, cherry has 2 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and a gender. Cherry. I use the seeds and the pits. Sometimes I'll dry them, the whole thing, right in the dehydrator, just as is, if I have a cherry that doesn't look like it's going to be too good. But if you're saving the cherry seeds and using the seed itself, remember seeds always have fertility and abundance attached to that. But in general, the cherry is good for love and divination. Okay, and the planet is Venus, the element is water, and the gender is feminine. It's easy to remember cherry as a feminine because a lot of people refer your feminine area as your cherry. I don't know. I'm not trying to be silly or gross or funny. I'm just trying to help you remember. Or that's how I will remember it. Anyway. Yeah, we must eat celery more often. Next we have chestnut. There's 1 magical intention, a planet, an element, and a gender. So the magical intention is love. The planet is Jupiter, the element is fire, and masculine is the gender. Next we have chickweed. There are 2 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and a gender. Fidelity and love are the magical intentions. Moon, water, and feminine are the rest. Next we have chicory, an amazing offering if you are working with hoodoo. If you're trying to leave an offering for the ancestors, chicory and coffee, or just chicory. That's what I have it for. This has 4 magical intentions: removing obstacles, invisibility, favors, and frugality. The planet is the sun, the element is air, and the gender is masculine. Now we have chili pepper, which has 3 magical intentions: fidelity, hex breaking, and love. Planet is Mars, element is air, and gender is masculine. Now we have China berry. 1 magical intention, it is luck, and there's no planet, element, or gender. Chrysanthemum, aka mum. It is a poison, and the 1 magical intention is protection. The planet is the sun, the element is fire, and the gender is masculine. Chrysanthemum. This one is called Cinchona? 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 Yeah, and right, a lot of these we didn't know were poison. So this is really good to note down if, like I say, I want to make a poison oil with just poisonous plants. Yeah, you guys, Scott Cunningham says mum is poison. Just writing down what the book says. Alright, so Cinchona, the magical intention is luck and protection. There is no planet, element, or gender attached to Cinchona. Okay, next we have cinnamon. Cinnamon is what my mother of witchcraft, Tequila, always is referring to as like one of our most witchy herbs. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 magical intentions. All of 8. As many as 8. A planet, an element, and a gender. So, here's all the 8. Spirituality, success, healing, power, psychic powers, lust, protection, and love. Sun, fire, masculine. Cinnamon. Usually spicy things are masculine and fire. That's another repetitive thing I'm seeing. Fruits, the element is usually So, I'm sorry for that. Fruits, the things I'm seeing that are overlapping is like the fruits are generally the element is water, and the spicy things like pepper, chili pepper, cinnamon, curry, those types of things are usually masculine and fire. But the planet usually changes, but it's generally like a Saturn or a Jupiter, one of those red planets. Interesting, right? All right, so there's cinnamon. But if you haven't watched Tequila's video on cinnamon, and it's called something like Most Witchy Herb or something like that, gotta check it out. And I carry 4 types of cinnamon. I carry Indonesian, regular stick, powdered stick, and Mexican cinnamon. And I love all of them, all a little bit differently. All right, next we have conifoil. There are 4 magical intentions: a planet, an element, and a gender. Magical intentions are money, protection, prophetic dreams, and sleep. Planet is Jupiter, element is fire, and gender is masculine. Next we have citron. 2 magical intentions: a planet, an element, and a gender. Thank you. Kinkefoil. That's how we pronounce this, is kinkefoil. I really appreciate that, Heather. Thank you, Heather Foley. So, citron, the 2 magical intentions are psychic powers and healing. The planet is the sun, the element is air, and the gender is masculine. Next we have cleavers, like the type of knife, but I'm just saying that because I wrote it kind of messily. There are 4 magical intentions: a planet, an element, and a gender. Thanks, Heather. Magical intentions are relationships, commitment, protection, and tenacity. Planet is Saturn, element is fire, gender is feminine. Next we have Cloth of Gold, and I want this. I want this. If anybody can get their hands on it, please do let me know. Cloth of Gold. It has one magical intention, no planet, no element, and no gender. The only magical intention it has is understanding animal languages. Cloth of Gold. Understanding animal languages. Really cool. Yeah, it's a great name, isn't it, Pearl? I love it. Okay, next we have Clove. I use this a ton. I'm sure you guys use this a ton. It's used a lot during this time of year just because of holidays and things like that. There are 4 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and a gender. For Clove, we have protection, exorcism, love, and money. I don't know what Cloth of Gold is, but we can look it up in the book real quick. Protection, exorcism, love, and money. Planet is Jupiter, element is fire, gender is masculine. See, again, it's Clove, the gender is masculine, and it's a spicy one. If you put cloves in your mouth, it's spicy like cinnamon, right? Fire is the element, masculine's the gender, and the planet is Jupiter. So you see what I mean? Those spicy herbs are generally either Mars or Jupiter as the planet, fire and masculine. Cool. So let me go check, and I'll show you a picture out of the book on Cloth of Gold so that we can all look at that together. So Cloth of Gold apparently looks like this, kind of like a lily, I guess. Definitely a bulbous type root. Jez is saying that it's yarrow. Let's read it. Powers, well, the technical name for it is Crocus angustifolia. Angustifolia. The powers are understanding animal languages, magical uses. The Cloth of Gold gives the power to understand the language of birds and beasts. You must be barefooted with washed feet when gathering it, and clad in white. Oh, so I'd have to gather it myself. And clad in white. Offer a sacrifice of bread and wine, and pluck it tenderly. Wear the plant for these powers. So you have to wear it and pull it yourself. So never mind. But if anybody knows where it's native to, please do let me know. That's so cool. So that's what we have on Cloth of Gold, y'all. Okay. Yeah, let me show you my yarrow. Here's my organic yarrow flowers. And it looks a lot different on the plant itself. And when we get to why, we'll go over yarrow. Oh, it smells so good. There's my yarrow. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, and you know, yarrow's different everywhere you go, right? It varies between states and countries and all of that. So we're all going to get, you know, probably different varieties. Yeah, my yarrow is yellow. I googled it too, Jez, and yellow yarrow came up. Oh, okay. Wow. See, we're all learning together. That's great stuff. Next, we're talking about clover. And this isn't clove, this is clover, as in what my chinchillas munch on. Like the flower that grows with your 4-leaf clovers. So there are 6 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and a gender for clover. I've done a video on clover. You just search in YouTube, taxidermy witch plus clover plus witchcraft, yeah? Hey, thanks Herbal Medicine and Magic, glad to see you here. For clover, we have protection, money, love, fidelity, exorcism, and success. Planet is Mercury, element is air, gender is masculine. Next we have club moss. Club moss has 2 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and a gender. Protection and power. Moon, water, feminine. Coconut! One of my very favorite things to work with. I work with the young Thai coconut. And I use the outer shell because when you cut away the husk, it smells like vanilla. And I use that as packing material. I use it in herbal workings. I use it in nature offerings. I use it in sea offerings. I use it in amulets and sachets, mojo bags, anything you can think of. And it's not even the fruit of it. Then, after I've eaten the fruit out of it, I float them as floating candles in my bath. Because the 3 magical intentions are protection, purification, and chastity. So I float it in my bath for protection and purification. Then my bath is over a skylight. Listen to this. The planet's the moon, the element's water, and the gender is feminine. So if I'm in my bath with these floating coconut tea lights, right, floating candles, I've got the moon element because I'm under the bath with the moon. Or you could take a big tub out in the night and take a bath on the moon. The element is water, and I'm sitting in water. I'm a female, so I'm feminine. And then the magical intentions are chastity, purification, and protection. I usually do this as a purification and protection bath. And I do have a video on that. Yes, I do. All right, next we have black cohosh, one of my favorite things to work with. It looks super witchy and crazy. And I keep it on myself all the time, like in my witchy cabinet. There are 4 magical intentions, and then there's a gender, but there's no planet or element. Magical intentions are love, courage, protection, and potency. And it's masculine. Alright, so next we have Colt's Foot. Colt's Foot has 2 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and gender. Colt's Foot is good for love and visions. The planet is Venus, the element is water, and the gender is feminine. Guess what, you guys? 24 days to Samhain. Who's excited? Next we have Columbine. Columbine is a poison, and that's easy for me to remember because, like, the whole Columbine shooting was terrible, and poison is terrible, and so, but it's the seed that's poisonous on the Columbine. And the 2 magical intentions, planet, element, and gender, are courage and love, Venus, water, feminine. Columbine. I think Columbine's a beautiful flower, if memory serves. Yeah, look at this. It's gorgeous. That's amazingly beautiful. Okay, next we have comfrey. So many sea herbs, 56 of them, so many. Hey Maggie Pie, welcome, so good to see you. So comfrey has 2 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and a gender. Magical intentions are safety during travel and money. Planet is Saturn, element is water, gender is feminine. Next we have copal, a lovely, lovely resin to work with. Copal. Underrated. I don't know if enough people talk about it. And sometimes I think it's confused for, like, old frankincense. Alright, so there are 2 magical intentions, planet, element, and gender. Love and purification. Sun, fire, masculine. Copal. Next we have coriander, which is, which in the UK is different than over here. Let's talk about the words. So coriander in the UK is what we call cilantro. So the plant that we have here, we call it cilantro in the States. Over there they call it coriander, the leaves. Coriander is the seed of the cilantro, and we use it as a common spice. It doesn't really taste like cilantro when you use it as a spice. So I'm not sure, and maybe Uncle Badger can tell us a little bit more on this, But I used to watch Jamie Oliver all the time and learn all the cooking lingo for the UK. Like, instead of paper towel, it's kitchen paper. You know, there's lots of little lingos that change up with cooking between countries. And coriander is cilantro when you're in the UK. All right, the 3 magical intentions are love, health, and healing. And the planet is Mars, the element is fire, and it's masculine. Again, let's look at this. Coriander, it's a spice, right? Got a nice spicy taste to it when it's in the seed form. Gender, masculine. Element, fire. I told you masculine and fire come up a lot with spices. And then the planet is Mars. Mars and Jupiter are the most common for the spicy spices, red planets, yeah? So we're seeing some things that are making it easier for us to remember. So if we come on another kind of spicy spice, go ahead and guess that gender to be masculine and the element to be fire, and then throw out a guess either Mars or Jupiter. I bet you it'll work for you most every time. Crocuses. All right, corn. Corn we just talked about the other day, and we did a video on corn, didn't we? And then we did a Patreon video on it. By the way, if you guys want to support the channel and if you guys want to support the channel and get exclusive witchcraft videos, join Patreon. It's down below for as little as $1 to $5 a month. And my Etsy shop's below if you need any workings, if you want a bundle of flashcards, if you want an oracle deck. It's all in the description below if you need me. All right, so corn. 3 magical intentions. Protection, luck, and divination. Planet is Venus. Element is Earth. Gender is feminine. Corn. Now we have cotton. Has 5 magical intentions. A planet, an element, and a gender. We have luck, healing, protection, rain, and fishing magic. Hey, Citizen Z, nice to see you. The planet is the moon, the element is earth, and the gender is feminine. Okay, next we have Cow-Cyp. Cow-Cyp, Cow-Cyp. 3 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and a gender. Oh, thanks, Maggie Pie. That's awesome. Thank you much. Really do appreciate that. Keeps food in my belly so I can keep making videos. All right, magical intentions are healing, youth, and treasure finding. So if somebody orders that hidden treasure deck and I can get my hand on some Cow-Cyp, I'm going to put some of that herb in with the oracle deck. Like I'll Mod Podge it in or something like that, or make a little amulet to go with it. So health, youth, and treasure finding. Planet is Venus, element is water, gender is feminine. Hey Sue Hennessy, so good to see you. Is that Cow-Cyp or Cow-Cyp? Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure, but it's all one word. Cow-Cyp. Somebody was just talking about crocus. Absolutely, Maggie, I do try, and I appreciate you guys more than you know. You guys keep me learning every single day, and teaching is one of the best ways to learn. It's the best way to teach yourself. Crocus, 2 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and a gender. Love and visions. Venus, water, and feminine. Next we have Cubib. Cubib? I don't know how to pronounce all these. I wish I did. But if you guys know, please do type it in, because Heather Foley knows sometimes. Thank you, hun. Cubib. 1 magical intention. Love. The planet is Mars. The element is fire. And the gender is masculine. Maybe it's a spicy spice. Let me look what it is. Cubib. It's this. A folk name for it is tailed pepper. The berries are used in love sachets and spells. I don't know if it doesn't really say much about it at all. But it's that one in the middle there. It's kind of like a grape tree with a big trunk. Interesting. Alright, next we have the cuckoo flower. The cuckoo flower. 2 magical intentions for this, a planet, an element, and a gender. Cubeb is the guinea pepper. Thank you, yourself. I really appreciate you adding that in. Thank you. Cuckoo flower, fertility and love, Venus, water, and feminine. Next we have the cucumber. This one's surprising. Usually phallic-shaped fruits or vegetables or spices are all masculine. This one is not. It's feminine. There are 3 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and a gender, which I said was feminine. It looks like allspice. Thank you. Chastity, healing, and fertility. Moon, water, and feminine. So the cucumber is chastity, healing, and fertility, moon, water, and feminine. Makes a lot of sense. We put cucumber water as a common thing, right? So maybe that's how you can remember the water. Fertility is kind of an obvious one because of the phallic shape. Yeah. Next we have cumin. Alright, you guys, this is a spicy spice. What do you think the planet, element, and gender will be? I want everyone to type what they think the planet, element, and gender will be. And then I'll go ahead. It's a spicy spice. So there are 4 magical intentions: protection, fidelity, exorcism, and anti-theft. Wiley Kylie, very good. Mars and male, you are correct. And the element is fire. So again, these spicy spices, it seems to be Mars and masculine and fire, and then either Mars or Jupiter. Maggie Pie, very good. Joyce Jordan, really good. You guys are doing good. See? And that's just something that, as you go through this book and you're just writing, you start to see over time, match them up. And that's what I mean. When you write things out, it's another way to get it into your brain. You could say it, it gets in your brain. You could see it, it gets in your brain. But when you write it and you see it, it's almost like you add those two. You know how your teachers maybe used to make you write the same sentence over and over? I will be good, or whatever the heck they made you say. Kind of like using law of attraction. Right? I will not do this again. I will not do this again. I will not do this again. Interesting. But what I'm saying is that when you write things over and over like that, it gets into your brain in a different way. Hey, Silver Willow, so nice to see you. And Hawk the Fam James, nice to see you too. Now we're talking about curry. We're almost through the 56 C letters. There's so many of them. Curry has 1 magical intention. And I want you guys to guess. What do you think the planet, element, and gender of curry is? Give a guess, because it's spicy spice. The 1 magical intention of curry is protection. Let's give a guess. Planet, element, gender. So quiet here. There you go. Jupiter, male. Good guess. It is male. Male and Mars. Yep. Male, Mars, fire. Mars, fire, male. So you guys, with these spicy spices, it seems to be masculine and fire every time, and then either Mars or Jupiter. We're cracking the code. We are cracking the code. This one I'm going to try and pronounce it cyclamen? Cyclamen? Right, lady, so just give a guess, and then that's how you learn to trust your intuition. You guys are doing really good. And you knew it. You knew it. Male. All right. Cyclamen has 4 magical intentions. Planet, element, and gender. Magical intentions: fertility, protection, happiness, and lust. Planet, Venus, element, water, gender, feminine. Last but not least, we have Cypress. Cypress. 4 magical intentions, a planet, an element, and a gender. We have longevity, healing, comfort, and protection. The planet is Saturn, the element is Earth, and the gender is feminine. So you guys, that was super fun. Thank you for joining me while we went through all 56 of the C letters in Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia for Magical Herbs, which is what I've been reading from, this book here. We have 24 days left until Halloween or Samhain. And we have 24 letters left. Yes. So please join me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch. We're doing a letter a day. And let me go get the calendar so I can read to you guys what letter will be on what day. And right after this, I'm making the Patreon video on my Brussels sprout workings. I created three or four workings with Brussels sprouts. And so that you can only receive on Patreon, but I will be doing a Brussels sprout lore video on YouTube today, talking about that lore I was speaking about. If you guys want creepy doll art, message me on Patreon and I'll show you or on Etsy, and I'll show you the pictures of the ones I have available. Lots of different ones back there. Some are on deer antlers, some are on skulls, some are, you know, they're all different. Some have chicken's feet, some have fox bones. And right now I have Whitney who's ordering one that's doll parts, like 9 doll parts, a doll head, fox bones, and chicken's feet. And so she gets her custom wind chime. Anyway, let's get to the calendar. So, we did A on Saturday, the 5th. We did B on Sunday, the 6th. Today is Monday the 7th, we did C. Thursday the 8th is D. Wednesday the 9th is E. Thursday the 10th is F. Friday the 11th is G. Saturday the 12th is H. Sunday the 13th is I. Monday the 14th is J. Tuesday the 15th is K. Wednesday the 16th is L. The 17th is M. The 18th is N. The 19th is O. The 20th is P. The 21st is Q. The 22nd is R. 23rd is S, 24th is T, 25th is U, 26th is V, 27th is W, 28th is X, 29th is Y, 30th is Z, and then we have on the 31st Halloween and the beginning of Samhain, and then Samhain is on the 1st. And, you know, these whole 4 days here, you guys, the 30th to the 2nd, besides Beltane, these are the 4 days, and especially these 2 days where the veil is the thinnest, okay? The 31st and the 1st of November, that's Samhain, when the veil's the thinnest. But remember, it's also very thin on the 30th and the 2nd. So if you guys have a work schedule or you just can't get to your workings on Samhain or on Halloween, then just make sure that to remember that the veil is still really thin there. What else do I want to tell you guys about? So, right, if you need anything from my Etsy shop for, like, Halloween decorations, which us as witches are all year-round decorations, right? Let me know. I did a video showing all of those dolls plus more. Patreon's in the description below if you guys want to put a little food in my belly to keep the engine going so we can receive more videos and support the channel, as well as receiving exclusive witchcraft videos on Patreon. I'm very, very grateful for everybody who's here, whether you are on Patreon or not, and I just want to let everybody know that. Have a really beautiful day. I'm going to give you a kiss, kiss, ta, and see you back on YouTube for a quick lore video on Brussels sprouts, and then on Patreon for 3 Brussels sprout workings that I've created. For tomorrow's Patreon, we're doing pomegranate workings. Okay. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, you guys. Thanks for joining me for the 56 herbs, vegetables, plants, resins, etc. of the letter C. We'll see y'all soon.